Day of Ikuku festival, King Ojadike was dancing alone butt naked in the village. Mgbeke, lusting for the king, approached him with a fake smile. "Good evening, your majesty," she greeted, her voice soft and gentle. "What brings you here all alone?" King Ojadike turned to face her, his eyes alight with curiosity. "I come to pay homage to the gods and seek solace in their presence," he replied. His voice story time. As the years passed, Uzima village flourished under the wise and benevolent reign of King Ojadike and his son Izine with his wife Queen Nneka. With each passing season, the land prospered and the people lived in harmony, free from the shadow of witchcraft that has once plagued their village. Little did they know, however, that Mgbeke, Nneka's treacherous stepmother, had survived their last encounter with the villagers. Banished from Uzima village, Mgbeke took refuge in a nearby hamlet, nursing her wounds and nursing her grudge against Nneka and Izune and King Ojadike. From the shadows, she watched and waited, biding her time and plotting her revenge with a patience born of bitterness and resentment. The festival of Ikuku is done once every year, and on this very year, the festival of Ikuku brought so much joy and celebration of Uzima village. Drums echoed through the village, and the village danced in jubilation. King Ojadike, as the host, performing his sacred dance with Amadioha on his head. He danced with so much grace and so much joy, as the day is not just about festival of Ikuku. He is also witnessing his son Izune and daughter-in-law Nneka's coronation. Behind all the dance, laughter and celebration is Mgbeke, lurking behind the shadows, looking for a perfect time to strike. The villagers admiring the king and started talking about the king. The first villager said, "Have you noticed how King Ojadike seems to prefer older women these days? Of course, ever since he lost his wife years ago, he seems to have a soft spot for the more mature ladies of this village. However, it is quite peculiar, isn't it? One would think he'll be seeking a younger companion to keep him company. Perhaps he finds comfort in the wisdom and experience of older women. They say age brings understanding and depth to a person's character," the next villager responded. "That's true, and is not uncommon for someone who has suffered loss to seek solace in the company of those who have lived through similar experience," the next villager responded. "Indeed, it seems King Ojadike's heart is drawn to those who have weathered life's storm and emerged stronger for it. Well, whatever the reason, it is clear that the king values the companionship of older women. And who are we to question matters of the heart? You are right. Love knows no boundaries, whether it be age or circumstances. As long as the king is happy, that's all that matters," the next villager agreed. "Let's just hope that this choice bring him the happiness and contentment he deserves after all he's been through." Mgbeke, listening to this conversation, was elated and armed with this information, looking for ways to act on it. What better way to be Nneka's stepmother? Again, she said to herself. Before anything, she wanted to complete her mission. In this beautiful coronation, Mgbeke saw an opportunity to strike. Disguised as a humble vendor, she slipped a cursed amulet into the flower crown intended for Queen Nneka. "Here, young lady, a gift for your radiant beauty," Mgbeke said, her voice dripping with malice. Unaware of the danger, Nneka accepted the gift with happiness. As she placed the crown on her head, a sudden chill ran down her spine. Just as the festival reached its peak, Nneka collapsed in agony, clutching her head. "Nneka, what's wrong?" cried Izunne, rushing to her side. Sensing the treachery, the village healer, Mama Chioma, observed her for a while and swiftly removed the cursed amulet, saving Nneka from harm. Mama Chioma said, "This amulet bears the mark of dark magic," her eyes narrowing in suspicion. "Someone seeks to harm our queen." King Ojadike, on hearing that, sprang into action. When Mama Chioma warned of the dark magic on the amulet, he ordered extra guards to surround the queen at all times, making sure she was safe. He also commanded the villagers to stay vigilant and report any suspicious activity. With the added protection, Queen Nneka felt safer, and the festival of Ikuku ended peacefully, with the villagers rejoicing and dancing long into the night. Mgbeke, feeling sad of her failed attempt on Nneka, but armed with the information that Ojadike, loving older women, was very helpful to her, Mgbeke, consumed by jealousy and longing for power, hatched a devious plan to seduce King Ojadike. With her witchcraft charm, she wanted to ensnare the king's heart, plant seeds of doubt and discontent in his mind, and then ruin the palace for Nneka. On that fateful day of Ikuku festival, King Ojadike was dancing alone butt naked in the village. Mgbeke, lusting for the king, approached him with a fake smile. "Good evening, your majesty," she greeted, her voice soft and gentle. "What brings you here all alone?" King Ojadike turned to face her, his eyes alight with curiosity. "I come to pay homage to the gods and seek solace in their presence," he replied, his voice tinged with melancholy. Mgbeke nodded understandingly, her wrinkled face betraying none of the cunning that lay beneath. "Ah, the gods have a way of bringing people together in unexpected ways," she mused, her words carrying a hint of mystery. Intrigued by her enigmatic presence, King Ojadike invited her to join him as he danced before the gods of Amadioha. As they moved to the rhythm of the drum, Mgbeke whispered words of encouragement in his ears, her touch sending shivers down his spine. Lost in the moment, King Ojadike felt a strange sense of familiarity and comfort in Mgbeke's presence, as if he had known her for a lifetime. Unbeknown to him, however, her intentions were far from being good, her eyes gleaming with hidden motives. After the dance, King Ojadike extended an invitation to Mgbeke to come and meet his family at the palace. Excited by the prospect of getting closer to her goal, Mgbeke accepted graciously. As she arrived at the palace, Mgbeke concealed her identity with a delicate veil. Her heart racing with anticipation, King Ojadike introduced her to his family, including his son Izunne and Queen Nneka. Nneka greeted Mgbeke warmly, her eyes unable to pierce the veil that shrouded her features. "It's a pleasure to meet you," she said politely, unaware of the danger that lurked within their midst. As the evening progressed, Mgbeke seized the opportunity to observe her unwitting enemies from behind her veil, her mind racing with schemes and plots. Undeterred by her previous failures, Mgbeke hatched a daring scheme to eliminate Nneka once and for all. Tonight, vengeance will be mine, she thought to herself. Disguised as a harmless suitor to the king, she infiltrated the royal palace, armed with a deadly poison. For years I've waited for this moment, she muttered, her eyes ablaze with hatred as she approached Nneka's chamber. She was intercepted by Izunne, who sensed the danger. Stop right here. What do you think you are doing? He demanded, blocking her path. With a wicked smile, Mgbeke revealed her true identity. Brandishing the vial of poison before she could strike, Nneka's voice rang out from behind them. Izunne, stand back. This is a battle I must face alone, she declared, her eyes blazing with determination. After all, Nneka is also a witch. With a swift motion, she disarmed Mgbeke, her strength and courage shining bright. Defeated and broken, Mgbeke fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Forgive me, Nneka. I was consumed by darkness, but you showed me the light, she whispered, her voice trembling with remorse. Moved by her sincerity, Nneka staring at Mgbeke. I didn't know you still lived. You must leave my family alone. I owe you nothing, Mgbeke. Enough, Mgbeke. Your evil ends here, she declared, her voice ringing out with authority. This time, Nneka refused to offer forgiveness to her treacherous stepmother. With the support of the village elders, she ensured that Mgbeke faced justice for her heinous actions, banishing her from Uzima village once and for all. Mgbeke was thrown out of the palace and village. King Ojadike apologized to Nneka and Izunne for bringing such person into their home. The moral of the story is very clear. Witches, like all individuals, are capable of harboring deep-seated grudges and malice. However, it is through the power of forgiveness and compassion that we can break the cycle of hatred and bring about through healing and transformation. By confronting the darkness within ourselves and extending a hand of forgiveness to those who have wronged us, we can ultimately overcome even the greatest of evil and find redemption in the light of compassion. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to share the story with your family and your friends. Till we see you again in our next story. Goodbye.